and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and Hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including ATL FM Cape Coast, Might FM Tamale, Gbewo Radio DND, and Inkligi FM Boli. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, fire burns Madina Ritz-Junction yet again, leaving more than 100 shops destroyed.
So the extent of damage, I can say, well, off the top of my head, I can say about 20 containers or more damaged by the fire.
Also, more survivors sharing harrowing tales of the Gomwa-Trekun road crash that killed and left many injured. We'll hear the story of a woman who had to crawl out of the bus to safety after a stampede.
I really remember because I was sleeping. I only saw myself almost on the car, but people were just stepping on me.
Stepping on you?
Yeah.
In business,
National Communications Authority to press ahead with a directive for telcos to deactivate all unregistered SIM cards from database. Details on the Joy Business Report.
And in this episode of Ghana's Schools of Shame, we visit St. Joseph's School in the Talensi district of the Upper East region, where the school's weak infrastructure and inadequate furniture make learning painful.
The walls have cracked, and the teachers are scared that if they come in, the wall will break, or if teachers are even scared.
I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Details shortly. There's been another fire outbreak at Madina Ritz-Junction in the Lankwantan and Madina municipality. The fire, which started around 11 p.m. on Tuesday, gutted a number of shops in the area. Speaking to Joy News, Ghana National Fire Service Public Relations Officer ADO2 Alex Kinati said the cause of the fire is unknown.
So the extent of damage, I can say, well, off the top of my head, I can say about 20 containers or more damaged by the fire. And the casualties, we are still fighting the fire. We are still trying to get through to the slums. So we can't, for now, we've not received any news of casualties. But once we are done with the firefighting, we'll do what we call overhauling and salvaging to make sure if there's no casualty. Also, the strength of the fire team was enough.
Well, Public Relations Officer ADO2 Alex Kinati joins us live now. If you can hear me, we understand the fire has been brought under control. What is your initial assessment of the damage caused so far? We know some people in the community were in the area when the fire happened. Has everyone been rescued?
Yes, so then good morning to your cherished listeners. So as per our operational procedures, when we get there, we make sure that there's no one trapped. One lady was reporting of her sister missing, so we prioritized that during the firefighting. So we extended the scope of firefighting, but then we realized that there was no casualty. It looks like she couldn't find her sister. So there was no casualties reported, and the shops or the structures that were destroyed were about 120 to 250 structures comprising of containers and kiosks.
But have you been able to establish the cause of fire?
Well, we haven't yet been able to establish the cause of fire. Looking at the time the fire started and looking at the vast area of the fire, our men from the Madina Fire Station will be back at the site later today and tomorrow to be doing more investigation to ascertain. There might be a lot of factors that might have accounted for the fires. It could have been negligence, it could have been arson, and then it could also have been just any factors. So we are not leaving anything to chance, and we'll make sure that we expedite investigation into it.
Right, thank you so much. ADO2 Alex Kinate is Public Relations Officer at the Ghana National Fire Service. More survivors of the Monday morning road crash at Gomwa Otreko in the Accra Cape Coast Highway are sharing distressful details of how a fuel tanker rammed into their car, killing some passengers, including a baby. One of them, who only gave her name as Juliet, says she was asleep when the deadly crash happened. She says a stampede followed the accident, with many of the passengers stepping on her injured body until she crawled to safety. It is still unclear the number of people who died. The Efutu Municipal Fire Service Commander, DO2 Kwesi Hughes, says 16 people were sent to the morgue. Other first responders also say 6 persons died on the spot. Maxwell Agbagba has more on this report.
I am at the bus terminal where the driver of the U-turn bus was headed. Here, I've met an executive member of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Bob Hagan. He lost his friend, Clement Ejapon, and 2 others. He was at the morgue to see them.
Yesterday, he called around 8 o'clock in the morning that he had a label, Clement Ejapon's body. One leg, one hand, the body had been divided.
One of the people who died in the crash, Clement Ejapon, worked with Babs Transport. Emmanuel Ejapon is the secretary of the company. He says dual carriageways or divided highways save lives.
That is all we want for now. That is exactly what we want. Because, I can't just leave home to feed home and all this happens. So our plea to the government is that road, the Accra Cape Coast road should be dual carriage.
Here at the accident and emergency ward at the Boniba Trauma and Specialist Hospital, family members of some of the persons affected by the crash are gathered here, waiting with bated breath for them to be discharged. But right here in the waiting area, you can hear occasional screams of pain.
I really remember because I was sleeping. I only saw myself almost on the corner, but people were just stepping on me.
People were stepping on you?
Yeah, people stepping on me because I was sleeping. So I told myself, the whole are close.
You heard Maxwell Agbagba's report on Tuesday morning's crash. Now, 5,000 children in the Talensi district of the Upper East region have no school furniture. They will have the best chance of succeeding by studying while sitting on stones, tree roots, or even the ground. 12-year-old Harina Karim, a student of St. Joseph's School, Karare, says the lack of basic infrastructure makes learning unappealing. In today's episode of Ghana's Schools of Shame, features editor Jojo Kobna reports the local authorities say they are pressed for cash.
My name is Haruna Karim. This is my school. The walls have cracked, and the teachers are scared that if they come in, the wall will break. The walls are weak. Government should help us.
Look at our nursery children. They don't have any classroom to sit. They are sitting on the floor, no mat. They cannot learn.
The children sit on cement blocks, stones, roots of trees, and even on the ground. The Talensi District Assembly has just started digging the ground for the construction of a school block. But how long will it take? The DC for Talensi has some answers.
How soon is a matter of resources. Fortunately, we landed in the hands of a good friend, and he has accepted to build the school to completion before we find money to pay him to finish it up.
And that was Jojo Kobna's report. Now, can you believe that these are girls as young as 10 years using contraceptives to prevent pregnancies in Accra? This came to light when my colleague Martha Krensil Aqua embarked on a project titled Teens on Contraceptives. These children, technically referred to as adolescents, sometimes make the decisions on what contraceptive to use by themselves without any help from a parent or guardian. Listen to excerpts of her documentary.
I know it's used to prevent the sperms from growing in a woman. I also learned it helps in preventing of pregnancy, unwanted pregnancies.
Please, they said contraceptive is good for those who have sex, but as a child, there is no need for you to use a contraceptive.
Well, public health nurse Dorcas Ahaji explains some come in as young as 11 to access the family planning methods.
So as a municipality, we do get adolescents 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, asking questions on family planning. Sorry. And then some of them on the, coming in for family or asking questions on family planning. As a health directorate,
well, the New Patriotic Party says it is poised to annex victory in the upcoming by-election in Asin North after Parliament formally declared the seat vacant on Tuesday. Speaking to Joy News on the back of this development, the party's Director of Communications, Richard Ahiangba, said the NPP has put the relevant measures in place to ensure the party snatches the seat from the NDC. And that's how we end this bulletin. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Now, top story: fire burns Madina Ritz-Junction yet again, leaving more than 100 shops destroyed. But don't go anywhere. There's more coming up on the Super Morning Show.